Live from the Talking Joe Studios. It's Talking Joe with Chief and Mark.
Talking Joe weekly podcast. Talking Joe is there. Talking Joe thought we would last. Talking Joe is there. Fighting each other like a married couple. A podcast on the air. Talking Joe is there.
Talking Joe is the code name for a completely untrained special podcast force. Its purpose, to produce a weekly comic review show and serve as an outlet for Chief's creative talents and unleash them upon the world.
Talking Joe. Talking Joe is there. Chief is on his soapbox. Nobody seems to care. Fighting for fandom wherever there's trouble. The podcast on the air. Talking Joe is there. Talking Joe. Talking Joe.
Talking Joe is on the air, and here are your hosts, Chief and Mark.
Hey, Talking Joe. If we don't do anything else, we give you bonus audio. That is one thing we do, and here's a little bonus for you. We recently released a Talking Joe jingle medley, and lo and behold, we've got jingles coming out the wazoo, so we thought it was time to release Medley Part 2, correct?
That's indeed correct. And we started the show with the Talking Joe the movie intro, which is the thing that we've been starting the shows with, which was fun to do, and a learning experience, because when I played the instrumental, what I found out was that the beginning of that, the basic underlying music, it's not aligned to the actual vocals.
Right.
So all of the whole, real American hero, that's all vocal. You don't. It's not there in the underlying instrumentals.
Got
so,
it. Okay.
Interesting learning experience.
Laid it up. Yeah. We've smashed out quite a few jingles / songs over the last 20 episodes or so. Very quickly, because as I mentioned offline, I am in the middle of cooking a roast dinner, so my time is at a premium. But I just did want to ask you this question. What's your general process for writing a jingle? Do you mull on ideas while you're going for a walk? Do you tinker with lyrics first, then try and fit audio sound to it? Or what's your basic premise for writing?
Yeah, so often I'll come up with ideas as I'm going for a walk with the dog. I think that's a good thinking time, and then I'll often come up with a hook, sort of connect, and then think about a song that might fit that. So I was thinking, for example, Hamatime, immediately going to Can't Touch This, MC Hammer,
yes.
Style-y, and then thinking about the other lyrics that might fit in around that. I kind of do a lot of mine are kind of almost song parodies,
Yes.
but then other times it's maybe going with an existing track, but not trying to match the lyrics and just going off on and doing something independent. But I think generally I sort of am guided a little bit more by existing ideas in terms of parody, rather than your approach, which is sort of more free spirited, I guess, Chief.
Yeah, I tend to generally, if we say, we're going to write a jingle, I will just, at night before I go to sleep, I'll just kind of think of some lyrics that just randomly pop into my head with no beat or melody or anything behind it. Just, just like some words, and then the next day I'll spend probably a maximum of 20 minutes and I'll write some lines, and then I'll just listen to loads of samples of free copyright-free music online, and then just try and somehow shoehorn my lyrics and lines into a pre-existing bit of uncopyrighted music. So couple of similar-ish / different approaches, but in the end what you end up with is this jingle medley part 2 for a feast for your oral ears.
And do you think you've got a favourite out of this lot from the things that you've made, or
I would probably need to listen back to them all, which I will do when this one drops, and then I will let everyone know next week.
I'm probably most proud of Hamatime, which is one that I tried to badger you to actually make when you were still doing the show with Steve. Yeah. But yeah, if you weren't going to do it, I'd make it myself.
I think that was your sole reason for saying yes to co-host. You're like, now I can bloody make that jingle I've been trying to get him to make for years.
Possibly. And I think you've been killing it with some of your recent ones as well. I love Welcome to the Hat Rack, and I love the G.I. Joe merchandise one.
Well, we have a bit of fun, that's what it's all about. We're doing something different. What other G.I. Joe show is going to cram these jingles down your face even if you don't want them? No one. And even to the point of fact of, I don't listen to too many podcasts, about 3 or 4 maybe, but I don't really know of any other shows that just repeatedly create new bits of jingle/songs. So I think we're unique in that respect.
Very good. Yeah, and the listeners get invested as well, because when we dropped an episode with a shortened version of Action Figure Fiasco, there was an outcry. When we ran a poll and people wanted the full thing, even though it took up half the podcast.
Yeah, that's one of my favourites. I think that was before you. No, that was when you joined, wasn't it? Yeah, that's part of it.
I think it might have been for the first episode when I joined that one got used. Yeah.
Well, as long as we're podding, I'm guessing we're still going to be recording jingles. Okay.
All right.
I guess just sit back. Get yourself a pina colada, put your feet up, get yourself a good book, and listen to this.
And let's start off with a firm favourites segment, but which didn't have its own jingle until very recently. And that is where we go, Inside Chief's Mind. Woo!
It's dark. It's cold. Can you be brave? Can you be bold? Sick to get on, you don't know what you'll find. Digging in deep into Chief's mind. Inside Chief's mind. Are you trapped? Or can you escape? Recording all your thoughts like a videotape. Inside Chief's mind. I said inside Chief's mind.
And if it wasn't enough that we went inside Chief's mind, he also needed his very own soapbox. So, of course, that also needed his very own jingle.
Soapbox, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when Chief comes for you with his views and opinions? Let's just call them facts. Soapbox, how will the world react?
And most recently, the saga of Chief's woes, and in particular how his moving house woes has led to him theorising that perhaps he's under a Romany Gypsy curse. Now, hopefully this jingle isn't racist. If it is, sorry. If it isn't, hope you enjoy it.
When things go wrong, you can't explain. A broken window, a bad chest pain. You got a leak, you've lost a wheel. Your watch is smashed, can this be real? A hole in your shoe, misplaced your purse. The explanation is the Romany Gypsy curse. That's right, the RGC. You're stuck with the RGC. You can't hide from the RGC. The Romany Gypsy curse.
Next up is the epic that some people love and makes some other people hit for that plus 15 seconds and mash it to the end. It's Action Figure Fiasco, the song that was so epic that it made Chief record its very own music video, which you can find on the Facebook group.
Action figures, we all love them, Action figures, oh yeah, they bring us joy in our daily lives. Action figures, yeah, evoking memories from our childhood. But now we're grown and we just can't stop. Buying plastic till our wallets pop. When will it end? Who can say? Who can say? 'Cause action figures are part of our DNA. DNA. Some people say maybe we've gone a little wacko, but action figures bring us joy like a rainbow. They are so hot like a splash of Tabasco. Now it's time for action figure fiasco. Now it's time for action figure fiasco. Action figure fiasco.
Not to be outdone, when we included Thomas Talks Toys, we created a very own jingle for that. Kids with Toys.
Kids with toys. Pokemon. Kids with toys.
Sylvania.
Kids with toys.
Family.
Kids with toys.
My Little Pony.
Kids with toys.
Star Wars.
Kids with toys.
Transformers.
Kids with toys.
Lego.
Kids with toys.
G.I. Joe.
Yo, Joe!
Now this next one isn't technically a jingle or a song. It's the Ninja Before Christmas, which we recorded for our Christmas episode. And just purely for the amount of production work that went into this one, I'm just going to include it here anyway.
It was the night before Christmas when all through their base no cobra was stirring, not even Scarface. Their weapons were hung on the racks with care, in hopes that Storm Shadow wouldn't be there. The cobras were nestled snug in their beds, while visions of brainwave scanners danced in their heads. And the commander in his cowl and an iron of scrap had just settled their brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the shore there arose such a clatter, Zartan sprang from his bed to see what was the matter. The guards' towers illuminated the beach with a flash, blinded by explosions that had blown up a stash. The moon on the breast of the newly landed Joes gave a lustre of the midday to the invaders below. When what to the sentry's eyes did appear but a miniature boat and 8 Joes yelling, "All clear!" with a sneaky Storm Shadow so lively and quick, and a Joe there beside him, must be Quick Kick. More rapid than eagles along the beach that they had came, they whistled and shouted and took careful aim. Now Quick Kick, now Roadblock, now Stormy and Snakes. On Duke, on Scarlet, on Wildcard and Flint, to the top of the towers, clamber over the wall. Charlie, Mike, lock and load, blast away all! As they leave the beach, the cobras continue to die. The terror drone launches a fire bat into the sky. So they made for the freighter, but the cobras all knew there was a team full of troops and Storm Shadow too. And then, in a tinkling of gunfire they heard on the roof, a vengeful ninja who had appeared almost bulletproof. As Zartan drew back his bow and was turning round, Storm Shadow appeared, landing with a bound. He was dressed all in camo from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with blood splats and soot. A pair of sharp swords hung on his back, and he looked like an assassin about to attack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his expression not merry. His deadly intent, revenge, was primary. As Zartan in fear drew back his longbow, it was clear it was finally time for the show. Down, Storm Shadow drew his sword from its sheath, and through the smoke advanced with his clenched teeth. He slashed Zartan across his armoured belly. He dropped to his knees, legs turned to jelly. He was bloody and scarred, no longer himself. Storm Shadow took no pity and still with great stealth poked out his eyes and twisted his head, soon left Zartan on the ground, laid down dead. Storm Shadow spoke no word, but went straight to work, laid down some explosives, then turned with a jerk, laying his finger atop of the detonator button, and with a fast exit in mind, the chopper did summon. He sprang to his copter, his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like a down of a thistle. With a click of the trigger, the cobras should dread. Explosions filled the air. The cobras were all dead. I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to Cobra, on this, your last night."
Okay, let's talk about some comics.
Comic talk, oh, comic talk. Larry Hama writes them, Chief and Mark discuss them, whoa. Comic talk, oh, comic talk. Larry Hama writes them, Chief and Mark discuss them, whoa.
This next jingle came up just because I noticed the sheer high volume of errors that were being made in the comics, and this is the only jingle that features Mrs. Funky Bunch on lead vocals.
Error detected. Error detected. No prize incoming.
But then, of course, there was also a very specific error that we made a very specific jingle for, which was all about dead Joes that were returning to life. So this is Explain It, Give It a No Prize, and it's based on Niko B's tune, Who's That, What's That? Check it out if you haven't already, if you're not familiar with it. That's Niko B, Who's That, What's That?
Who's that? What's that? You don't know what you're doing, but I saw a mistake. Something wrong with the drawing, and I spot an old Joe. I thought that he had died. Bit shifty. Explain this, give it a no prize.
Next up, it's Hamatime. So even before I joined as co-presenter, I was posting on the Facebook page Hamatimes for hammerisms such as sucking chest wounds. And when I actually joined the show, after begging Chief to make the jingle himself, I just had to go ahead and make it myself. This is, of course, based on MC Hammer, You Can't Touch This from 1990.
Stop! Hamatime!
Time to beat the soles of your boots with my face. Sucking chest wounds, red ninjas, brain scanners, rubber oozes, blue ninjas. And then some more sucking chest wounds. Hamatime!
Now, previously in the show, Chief and his co-hosts would discuss Commonwealth colloquialisms, talking about various sayings and whatnot, aka over-egging the pudding. We dropped that when I started with the new set of features, but we did notice that Larry Hammer also had an awful lot of colloquialisms, so good time to have a feature talking about those. And if you need a feature, then you got to have a jingle, which Chief duly provided.
There used to be a pudding that was over-egged. You know the pudding. You know the pudding. At first it was British, but then it was Commonwealth. You know the pudding. You know the pudding. But now there's a new player in town, a comic book writer of some renown. He's using real world examples and peppering the issues with lots of samples. It's a Larry Hammer colloquialism. He's talking G.I. Joe and all its heroism. Can you guess what it is? Is it something new? Now listen as Larry drops a slice of real life on you.
Now, this next one came about after I noticed that Larry's favourite new thing seemed to be Molly Steele. It was cropping up in every episode that... No, sorry. It was cropping up in every issue that we were reading, but by the time we actually introduced the jingle, Larry seemed to stop, which I took as a bit of a personal affront, but never mind. Perhaps I should have done something with meat puppets instead. Meat puppets, what you gonna do? I don't know. But anyway, we went for Molly Steele, and here it is.
Hit it. Where's Marley? Where's Marley? Where's Marley?
Hello and welcome back to It'll Be Alright on the Night. I'm Dennis Norden. The next one that we've got in our clip show is Quote of the Week, which is of course based on the famous quiz show Blankety Blank.
Quote of the week, quote of the week, quote of the week, quote of the week,
Quote of the week, quote of the week.
quote of the week, quote of the week, quote of the week, quote of the week, quote of the week.
Quote of the week, quote of the week.
It's Quote of the Week! A longer version of Quote of the Week there. It was, of course, shortened for the version used in the show, as it well should be. Chief returns now for another of his epics. This is MVP, Most Valuable Player.
Who is the MVP? Most valuable person in these issues. Who is the MVP? Is it a Cobra Joe or the enemy? The good guys are the Joes now show counter-terrorist force, but hush, it's on the down low. Pages of this book, go have a look. We're searching for guys or gals that have the hook. The hook of being the best thing in the story, chomping up scenes, front and center allegory. And let's not forget about those cats named Cobra, sipping Dom Perignon. Are you sure they're sober? Brainwave Scanner is back, gonna be messing. Big CC and Destro teach a lesson. Talking valuable, can we talk the dreadnoughts, grape soda, chocolate donuts, and then the jukebox? Who is the MVP? Most valuable person in these issues. Who is the MVP? Is it a Cobra Joe or the enemy?
Name the Joes wasn't anything new. Chief introduced it with Steve, I think, but we used it quite a few times in our run too.
Here we go. Name the Joes. Is there a clue in the character pose? Maybe the outfit or the funky clothes? Do I spy a pair of pantyhose? Some facial hair or distinctive nose? ID the Joes, knock 'em over like dominoes. Or Larry Hama's polyphonic prose? Name the Joes. Name them.
And why not name a vehicle too? This one was put together by Chief when Word Burglar appeared on the show.
Here we go. Name the vehicle. I said Bergie's gotta name the vehicle. Is there a clue that might be meaningful? Maybe the paint job is strategical. Do I spy a tricked out tricycle? A long turret that is typical. Bergie needs to ID the vehicle by waxing lyrical. Unlike Larry, we won't be too critical. Can Bergie name the vehicle? Name them.
And I put together this next one when the Joes visited the memorial wall in issue 263, and there was all manner of Easter eggs written on that wall that Chief had to try and explain.
Here we go. Explain the wall. Chief's gotta explain the wall. Do you think you know it all? It's not in Berlin or Hadrian's, the Great Wall of China. No, it's a wall that's memorial, not wailing. No. Can Chief explain the wall? Explain it.
So with the comic section of the show done, let's talk about toys.
Mark talks about toys, ho ho. He talks about G.I. Joe. He talks about all the toys from the comic book and the animated show. Mark talks about toys. Mark talks about toys.
Next up, the full version of listener questions, normally cut down. Funky Bunch with my boy Chief, asking questions insanity. We're talking Joe. Come on. Question, tell me what you think about TV. Do you buy toys and buy other things? Who's your favourite guy from that movie? What are the UK pedestrian crossings? Question, tell me how you feel about a stretch. Which A-list Joes make you wretch? Is your soup chunky? Is it smooth? Listener questions gonna get some truth. Okay, next up are some of the jingles that we put together for the Jingle Challenge. So we asked the listeners to come up with some segments, and both me and Chief came up with our own jingles for them. So the first up was for a segment all around hats. I came up with super hats on the Joes and also on the Cobras, and Chief came up with Welcome to the Hat Rack. It's super hats on the Joes and also on the Cobras, even if the size of it is something quite atrocious. If you start it out enough, you'll always look ferocious. Super hats are on the Joes and also on the Cobras. Super hats on the Joes and also on the Cobras.
Welcome to the Hat Rack. We got the inside track. Welcome to the Hat Rack. This is the hat soundtrack. Let's kick it off with the class of 1982. Hard hats, flash and grunt, having fun. Hard hats, rock and roll version 1. Hard hats, zap, break a short fuse. Hard hats, and Cobra Troopers too. Now there are guys who rock a beret with style. They are fresh like peppermint, Stalker Falcon and Arm Flint. If you need to feel like you are special and real, we can sure make a deal with molybdenum steel. If you're in a bloodshed, a genetic amalgamous purebred, just get a snake on your head. But Serpentor's dead. Hat Rack. Welcome to the Hat Rack. Hat Rack. Compute your angle of attack. Hat Rack. Welcome to the Hat Rack. Hat Rack. Don't have a panic attack. Firefly, Beachhead, and ninjas, they wear face masks. Hat Rack. Welcome to the Hat Rack. Hat Rack. Sleeping mask for insomnia. Hat Rack. Welcome to the Hat Rack. Hat Rack. Let's get this thing back on track. If you're going underwater, you'll need some special gear. Breathe in. Torpedo and the eels. Operators. Wetsuit and deep six. We have plenty of stock. That incites fear and shock. All your vipers will flock. Frag, laser, and rock. Ice, cyber, and heat. Aerosol, sand, and range. Tele, techno, and sludge. And the Astro won't budge. Hat Rack. Welcome to the Hat Rack. Hat Rack. Do you need biofeedback? Hat Rack. Welcome to the Hat Rack. Hat Rack. Don't be a sad sack. So whatever your style, come stay for a while. Joe Cobra or the enemy, a hat is what you need. Hat Rack. Welcome to the Hat Rack. Hat Rack. This is the Hat Soundtrack.
The next Jingle Challenge was for PvP. So after Chief had the epic Welcome to the Hat Rack, I was not to be outdone and decided to go for a full-length song, which Chief countered by going short. Oh well.
Fight!
PvP, 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 PvP.
Player versus player combat scores.
1.
Dr. Mindbender is here, mustache like a buccaneer. Large codpiece, Will Shakespeare, easily pull on that nasal hair.
2.
Gung-ho, here for G.I. Joe, bare chest show his marine tattoo. No headgear for combat debut, hit on the head with a flying horseshoe.
3.
Big boa in for the triple, boxing gloves give no acquittal. Chest muscles all a ripple, no defense from a crippled nipple.
Player versus player, Cobra versus Joe.
Player versus player. Who wins solo?
PvP.
4.
Snow job, he's on his skis. Vaccine to the cobra disease. Avalanche from a mountain breeze. Bury him in a terrible freeze.
5.
Firefly, camo in grey. Outfit changes on its way. Neon green to our dismay. And shot by a sniper straight away.
6.
Mutt here with his loyal hand. Junkyard, the best dog around. Bounding, follow that sound. Quicksand, they both drowned.
7.
Scrap iron, the missile guy. Guaranteed to satisfy. In his sights, say bye-bye. But a misfire blows him into the sky.
8.
Wild Bill in a dragonfly. Cobras prepared to die. But refueling passed him by. Chopper fools, okay, bye.
9.
Major Blood with his eye patch. Helmet looks a bit much. Dog tags give him a scratch. Tetanus, a slow dispatch.
Final.
All the Cobras and Joes dueling like banjos, expending their ammo, ready to give us all a show.
You win.
Player versus player. Cobra versus Joe.
PvP.
Player versus player. Cobra versus Joe.
In the battle arena, the crowd goes crazy. A fight to the death, so don't get lazy. 2 go in, 1 comes out. Who's got the power? Who's got the clout? PvP, who's got the flavor? PvP, a battle to savor. PvP, who's the death slayer? PvP, it's player versus player.
And my PvP song there based on Nerd's Lap Dance tune. So yeah, check that one out if you're not familiar with it. The next segment was for a G.I. Joe merchandise themed segment. So I came up with License for Joe based on the James Bond song, and Chief did his own thing, which was something special. G.I. Joe merchandise. Stick Flint's face on it.
You know, G.I. Joe ain't just toys, funny books, and tunes. Those guys will license anything. So funky, so nice, G.I. Joe merchandise. Do you need it? Sure you do. It's G.I. Joe branded, fool. What shall we make? We can't decide. Pick some old crap and put Flint's face on the side. On the side. T-shirts, funkers, sticker shampoo, lunchbox soap, jackets, underoos. Yeah, that's right. I said underoos. Badges, brushes, combs and mugs, telephones, tissues, and probably hugs. Hot damn. G.I. Joe hugs? Radios, candy, tents, tattoos with a G.I. Joe logo they just can't lose. Door knocker, doorbell, even doormat. They'll probably brand your dog and your cat. So funky, so nice, it's G.I. Joe merchandise. Do you need it? Sure you do. It's G.I. Joe branded, fool. What shall we make? We can't decide. Pick some old crap and put Flint's face on the side. It's G.I. Joe merchandise.
I got a license for Joe.
G.I. Joe.
And you know I'm gonna make any old crap. Got a license for Joe. Got a license for Joe. Puzzle soap, lunchbox, gift wrap. Got a license for Joe. License for Joe.
Next up, 10-Minute Mando, which we started for the first few episodes, paused while Chief had to go and watch all of Clone Wars and all of Rebels before we then did a little recap and caught up with the final episodes of the second season.
The Star Wars galaxy sure has a lot of playgrounds. Jedi Knights, evil Sith, bounty hunters, all doing the rounds. But there's a guy so cool. The Mandalorian. DeLorean. Now expand your mind and be a Star Wars historian. It's 10-Minute Mando. He's chasing a star. It's 10-Minute Mando. He loves Beskar. It's 10-Minute Mando in a galaxy far, far away.
Next up, we've got the jingles for the interview episodes. Now, I went ahead and made one called Let's Interview a Creator, which was based on Mr. Rogers' Neighbourhood theme. And I did that not realising that Chief had already made one, which was actually much better than my own, which was based on Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby. So let's hear both. Hey guys, we got someone joining us on the show today. We're about to meet them in just a minute. It's a beautiful day to have a guest. Time to talk to one of the best. Is it Larry? Could it be Larry? We've had Tom Scioli, Shannon Grant, Andy Wildman was a gent, Mike Medley, Word Burglar. We've always wanted to have a guest just like you, like the Queen will ask, and what do you do? So let's make the most of this communique. Sorry to say it is for no pay. I won't lie, we will try. Won't you do me a favour? Don't you tease with some expertise. Let's interview a creator.
Alright, stop. Whatever you're doing, TJ's back, the airwaves we're chewing, rocking. A G.I. Joe podcast, interview special, questions will be asked. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't think so, not as long as someone's publishing Joe. Artists, writers, G.I. Joe fanboys, let's get this thing started and hope we don't annoy our guest. In the studio right now, they've come in for a chat discussing when, where and how. Probing, we're going in deep. Anything left, we might as well be asleep. Questioning them about the G.I. Joe history. Unwrapping answers like a whodunit mystery. TJ Interview. TJ Interview. TJ Interview.
Next up, we've got the Talking Joe Wellerman Shanty, which was inspired by me getting an earworm in my head and trying to get it out in the form of a little song for the show. There once was a guy that joined the chief. His name was Ben, but he had to leave. Break and replace the first of many after the out of time. Soon may the coast come to bring us comics and chat and fun. One day when the talking's done, we'll take our leave and go. See, not yet cold, it's Chris McLeod. He's rather rude and rather loud. He loves that G.I. Joe hovercraft. He'll take that whale and go. Soon may the co-host come to bring us comics and chat and fun. One day when the talking's done, we'll take our leave and go. Meanwhile, S-Jobs crossed the water, thespian lamb for the slaughter. Show was fun, but the book was torture, then he quit the show. Soon may the co-host come to bring us comics and chat and fun. One day when the talking's done, we'll take our leave and go. No search was made, Chief asked his mate. Mug was free, that was great. He sang a song, a new floodgate. He made too many jingles. Soon may the co-host come to bring us comics and chat and fun. One day when the talking's done, we'll take our leave and go. This next song was inspired by Ben and Chief's Mince Pie Christmas Challenge of experimenting and eating lots of mince pies over the Christmas and rating them. And on Ben's Instagram channel, he started singing a version of this song, well, just the chorus anyway. And I thought, oh, I could make a little thing of that.
I've been meaning to tell you, I've got this feeling that will tantalize. I look at it and I fantasize. I'm eating tonight. Now I've got you in my insides. Ooh, mince pies. Just one more bite, is this really wise? Ooh, mince pies. I feel like I've grown to twice my size.
Some nice backing support from Thomas there too. This next song was inspired by an off-the-cuff comment during one of the shows where Chief referred to me as the Jingle VIP, and I thought, ooh, there's an idea. Now, I'm the king of the singers, oh, the Jingle VIP. Chief reached the top and had to stop, and that's what's bothering me. I wanna have my own fan club, lay down some killer sounds, and beat Chief's jingle count, funky bunching, monkeying around. Ooh, ooby-doo, I wanna make a jingle too. I wanna rap like you, talk like you too. You see it's true, a co-host like me can learn to make jingles too. This next jingle is something that I thought might be a good opener to the show, but it didn't quite work out the way that I wanted it to, so it got relegated. It was intended to be like a compilation of various songs that used the words talking and Joe and trying to mash them together. So it centres around Bananarama, Robert De Niro's Waiting, Talking Italian, and it starts with Everybody's Talking at Me, and in there as well was Cotton Eye Joe and Jolene from Dolly Parton. But the problem is that most of the songs that I found, the instance of them using those words was so short that they didn't really come out very well when clipped. So actually, it was only really Bananarama that ended up being something that I used at all. But yeah, interesting curiosity, I suppose.
Everybody's talking.
So hope you enjoyed that jingle medley, and you can find Talking Joe in all of the usual places, over on Facebook, Talking Joe, a G.I. Joe podcast, over on Twitter and Instagram, because when it's all said and done, you can catch us down the road, because we've been Talking Joe, and we're all out of Joes, and specifically, all out of jingles, at least for now. Laters.
There was a time way back in 2018, you remember. Two likely lads started something, it was a cold November. A chat, a talk, a conversation, childhood recaptured. A trip down memory lane and everyone was enraptured. You know the guys I'm talking about, it's surely Ben and Chiefy. A plan to launch a show that everyone could listen for free. G.I. Joe comics were the start of something truly special. The words they uttered were prophetic and time sentimental. Talking Joe. Comics, toys, cartoons, merch, we love you so. And we just won't ever stop. Talking Joe. Comics, toys, cartoons, merch, we love you so. And just won't ever stop. Comics, reading comics, reading comics, reading comics. And then the time would come when Ben would up and leave the hot seat. The chief he called up diagnostic, and the combo was sweet. From drinks to snacks to over-egging, lots of different puddings. Chief passed the torch to Jubbinator, can you smell what's cooking? Then lastly Funky Bunch and action figure fiasco. The show is hotter than a splash of super hot Tabasco. The show evolved and came to be a brightly shining beacon. Creative output bursting at the seams, we're never beaten. Talking Joe. Comics, toys, cartoons, merch, we love you so. We just won't ever stop. Talking Joe. Comics, toys, cartoons, merch, we love you so. And we just won't ever stop. Comics, reading comics, reading comics, reading comics, reading comics. Talking Joe in the house. We're gonna close this out with a thank you to all the fans. We love you so. And we just won't ever stop.